Hey everybody, Coach Mello here again with another at-home workout for you guys. Today's warm-up is going to be 5 sets of a Tabata. 2 different movements, 5 minutes total, 5 sets. Tabata is 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. So you'll switch. First 20 seconds of work is going to be with movement 1. Second 20 seconds of work is going to be with movement 2. And you'll do that every minute for 5 minutes for 5 total sets. The first movement is a single dumbbell or kettlebell deadlift. So 1 kettlebell or dumbbell, feet are going to be shoulder width apart, and you're coming down in between your feet, kind of tapping the ground, hinging, bending your knees, standing all the way up, so you're warming up your glutes and your hamstrings, whole posterior chain. And then the second movement are up downs. So getting a little dynamic movement in, up downs, modified burpee, hands down, jump out, jump in, jump up. Hands down, jump out, in, up. You can modify that to a step out and step in, so a little less dynamic, out, in, and up. Okay, so those are your up downs. That's your warm-up, 5 sets of Tabata. Your strength is going to be 5 sets also with a 15-minute running clock. You can rest as needed between your sets, but just make sure you get those 5 complete sets in within your 15 minutes. The first movement is 6 tempo single arm press, and the second movement are 8 tempo single arm crossbody deadlifts. So the first thing, your single arm press, you're going to do 6 each side. The tempo for both of these movements is 1, 1, 1, 1. So basically 1 second on the way down, 1 second pause, 1 second on the way up, 1 second pause. Okay? If I'm using a dumbbell, this is a strict press, so everything stays nice and tight. Press all the way up overhead, 1 second, 1 second on the way down, 1 second pause at the bottom, and press back up overhead. If I'm using a kettlebell, I'll hold that kettlebell in my front rack, pushing through the heel of my palm. I'm going to press straight up overhead, and then come right back down into that good rack position every single time. So those will be my 6 and 6, 6 with one side, 6 with the other side, strict press. The crossbody RDLs, we're doing 8 of these, 8 to each side. Again, this works well with a dumbbell or a kettlebell. Holding it to my side, this is crossbody. So across my body, pause, and stand. Across my body, pause, and stand. 1, 1, 1, 1 tempo again. So after you do your strength, again, that's 5 sets. Resting as needed, getting it done in 15 minutes. The conditioning for today, just 1 minute, okay? The conditioning for today is on a 10-minute running clock, and it's 2 minutes, max reps at 5 different stations. The first station is a max side plank hold. So max side plank hold on the right for a minute, on the left for a minute. For that side plank, your elbow is down, forearms perpendicular to your body, lifting your hips up, pushing your hips forward, and holding. We can modify this to the knees. So if I just bend my knees to 90 degrees, and this is working, you should still feel this working that oblique on the bottom side. All right, so that's your first 2 minutes. Max side plank on one side for a minute, max side plank on the other side for 1 minute. After that, you're going into 2 minutes, max single arm deadlift or kettlebell suitcase deadlift. So again, that's 1 minute on one side, 1 minute on the other side. So if I'm using my kettlebell, suitcase to the side, feet underneath my hips, hinge, bend my knees, and stand. So that's going to be my suitcase deadlift. I'm doing this for as many reps as I can in 1 minute, and then at the second minute I switch and I stand up, and I do that with my left side. Thanks, Lil. The third station is going to be 2 minutes, max single arm dumbbell or kettlebell push press. 1 minute on one side, 1 minute on the other side. So if I'm using a kettlebell, I'm going to get that in my good front rack position, pushing through the heel of my palm. I'm going to dip, drive up overhead, coming back to that nice rack position every single time. 1 minute on this side, and then I switch 1 minute on the other side. Little dip, explosive drive. Stay in your heels on that dip, and really use your hip pop to get that weight and finish up overhead. The fourth station, 2 minutes max single dumbbell or kettlebell deadlift. So this is what we did in your Tabata for the warm-up. So if I'm using a dumbbell, I'll hold the head of the dumbbell like this, and I'm gonna hinge, bend my knees, and stand, touch, and go. All right, so 2 minutes of this movement. And then finally, the last 2 minutes, max forearm plank hold in 2 minutes. So I'm coming to my toes, to my elbows. So I come to a forearm plank, holding everything nice and tight, squeezing and holding for as long as I can. If you do need to break, which most of us probably will, that's fine. Shake it out, get back into that position, max forearm plank, and that'll round out our 10-minute conditioning piece. After your conditioning, there is a cash out. It is a 5-minute EMOM. Every minute on the minute for 5 minutes, this is your cash out. 30 seconds of push-ups, and then 30 seconds of a tall plank hold. So for the first 30 seconds, you're doing as many push-ups as possible. In the next 30 seconds, you're holding the top of your push-up. So 30-second max tall plank hold. Next minute, you go back into max push-ups. All right, so that's your cash out for today. 4 components to today's workout. Warm-up, Tabata. Strength, 5 sets and a 15-minute clock. A 10-minute running clock for your 5 stations, 2 minute each station for your conditioning. And then you've got your nice pump cash out for the upper body and core. All right? We'll see you guys in the Zoom room. Keep up the great work.